Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and Kentucky's season is over. They lose to Iowa State, 82-63 in the round of 32. Thought the difference was in that first half. It's 30-23. Kentucky gives up an 8-0 run to end the half. The officiating was terrible in the first half. Second half, Kentucky was I felt like they mentally checked out. Honestly, I thought the first half the officiating was really, really bad. 15 free throws to 3, and a dude kicks the ball and it's not a technical. But in the second half, they just got outplayed, and honestly, I thought they kind of checked out. This is their worst loss in the tournament since 1972. Also, their most turnovers. They had, how many turnovers? 20? 20 turnovers in this game. 20 turnovers. But incredible job, T.J. Altenberger. He's done been on that Iowa State program. Obviously, Iowa State used to be terrible before he come there. So shout to him and Iowa State. The way they played in the first half. Iowa State wasn't shooting 29% in the second half. And the fact that they shot 29% should have been up. But turned the ball over 12 times, give up 12 points off turnovers. I thought the officiating sucked in the first half, but second half I thought mentally checked out. It's just kind of a major question mark looming, now from the program going forward. Next year becomes a major moment for Mark Pope. If there's not a significant stride, there may not be and should not be a fourth season. I'm skeptical of a third season unless he gets a big haul in the transfer portal. I'm just kind of more frustrated. You get out on a 20-9 start, and that's how it ends, man. It all started when this moron subbed in Jasper Johnson. He played 1 minute in that first half. He was a -9 in 1 minute. I hate that kid, man. Turnover, brick, foul, turnover, brick, turnover, foul. It's just, my God, man. Oh, he finally made a 3. He always makes those 3s when it's a 20-point game. Dude sucks. Sorry, man. Comes in the game. Turnover, foul, brick. And all of a sudden it's a 2-point game. This team was ultimately poorly constructed with pieces that didn't really fit the system. I honestly don't think Pope did a great job with the group he had. He never found a consistent style of play and went through too many stretches where he was out coaching. And the players, man, too many stretches where they had scoring droughts as well. I will give 2 salutes. Tay always great vast majority of the year and had one of the best 2-season performances. Kentucky's had a bit. Denzel Aberdeen had a rough start. The beginning of the ACC play, I thought he was pretty good and honestly held the team together often. Ultimately, a disappointing season. It's just so many expectations, but honestly, you kind of figured out the first few games they weren't going to match the expectations. A few very good wins and a great March memory with Oweh shot, but in the end, it's still a disappointment. The second half was a really embarrassing way to end the season. It was just a total collapse. It felt like Kentucky was teetering most of the first half, and then it just completely fell apart in the second half. Like, Iowa State, as much as I love their defense. Like, they do. Maybe they get away with a lot of fouls, but their defense forced so many turnovers because we don't have anyone that can handle the ball. Hell, even Aberdeen, who hasn't turned it over much, had 4. So we didn't have anybody that can handle the ball. It's the first thing Pope needs to do is get a point guard that can handle the ball and have a backup point guard in case the other one were to get hurt. And an actual good point guard. Jasper Johnson go to Morehead State, EKU. He can go somewhere else. Iowa State is everything Kentucky won't be this season. Strong defensive identity, 3-point efficiency, and ability to survive injuries. And look, I don't. The refs suck, but I'm not going to make excuses for the second half. The first half, I thought it was noticeable. Second half wasn't. or at least the start of it maybe was, 6 fouls in 4 minutes, but honestly, they got their ass kicked, outscored 51-33 in the second half. I thought the big momentum thing was, Jasper Johnson getting subbed in, and then the end of that first half, after going back up by 7, Moreno's soft-ass hands, can't grab a board. Momcilovic hits a 3. They come the other end. They had a dunk, but they turned it over because Cam stepped out of bounds. Malachi's hands the last 4 weeks or so have just not been good. He drops a lot of drops or loses a lot of easy opportunities. It's been pretty consistent. And that happened in the second half where he could have had a putback, but he didn't get it, and that's a 4-point shift. Kentucky scored, at one point, 20 points in the last 20 minutes of the game. They just couldn't handle the pressure. And once Iowa State switched to that extended pressure, they weren't the same and just turned it over damn near every time. You turn it over 12 times in one half, it's going to be hard to have a lead, despite Iowa State not shooting well. Kentucky was playing damn hard on defense. They were fighting, but they kept picking up their dribble at half court. They just couldn't handle the trap, and they played right into Iowa State's hands. The last 12 minutes of the half were huge. They only scored 10 points. You had the poorly timed substitutions. Iowa State's pressure changes the games, and the bigs cannot handle Iowa State pressure. The moment Pope tried to start trying to get some rest for the Denzel, the game changed. 10-0 run immediately. They were doing good stuff to start the game offensively. Solid defense. Momcilovic missing some shots. They even forced some turnovers, made some threes of their own, but once the sub happened, and then Iowa State, was using their pressure, they were pretty much screwed from there, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens in the offseason. Really interested to see where they go with Pope. He's not going to get fired this season, no. Obviously, no Oway next year. He's got to find his guys and completely rethink his roster and actually get guys that fit, defense, 3-point shooters. If Kentucky kept up the intensity and lost in a close game, it would have softened the blow. Losing by 20 plus is inexcusable. I don't see how anyone can feel positive about it. It's like they got out-toughed, out-disciplined, out-executed, and out-coached after that start. This game just felt like a microcosm of the season. Some good stretches, some good stretches of basketball, but not consistent enough to beat really good teams. Yeah, for Iowa State, I've never seen Taman Lipsy play better. They had like 26-10. They didn't even have Joshua Jefferson this game. I think they've went to two Sweet 16s in 3 years. So, T.J. Altenberger, Iowa State was 2-22 before he arrived. They're now 29-7 heading to Sweet 16. It's proof coaching matters. So, that's really about it. Can't wait for the discussion. Oh, you miss Coach Cal? No, still don't. He's doing good things for Arkansas. That's good for him. Don't have any hate for the guy. Arkansas is really fun to watch. It was time to move on. You lose St. Peter's, Oakland, UNCW, Evansville, teams like that over the last couple years of his time here. It's time to go. They got one NCAA tournament win or whatever. So, we'll see. Mark Pope's going to get a third year. I'm kind of skeptical, but it just kind of depends what they do in the offseason. You got to get some guys that fit your system in the portal. The second half was embarrassing. They just checked out. It was really frustrating, but not shocking. They didn't have the ball handling to deal with Iowa State. I just didn't know what the hell we were doing. But it was a good start, but to be up 3 possessions with under 90 seconds left in the half, but trail at halftime was incredibly difficult to pull off, and they managed to do it. Can't wait to see Jasper Johnson enter the transferring portal. This was an embarrassing just game in the second half. There's the sub, and they give up a huge run. Jasper just wasn't ready, trying to steal moments. Or just steal minutes, erase guys. It's 8 minutes in the game. Let them play or raise a hand when they're gassed. Total disaster. But it just felt like, you know, there wasn't great IQ, man. They're picking up their dribbles, running defenders towards the guys driving, just painfully done. And did the ball handlers know once they beat the press or think they have an advantage on the defense, they don't have to stop and bring it out every time attack? And they just kept picking up their dribble at half court, and just horrible decision putting in Jasper Johnson. That was just a terrible decision. Now Chandler made some open shots to start the game. Aberdeen made some, but just after the start, it all went to shit. I wouldn't have been mad if they lost a close and tense game, but the fact that they started up 20-9 or whatever, and the way they got just pummeled in the second half sucked. But it's going to be pivotal year 3 for Mark Pope. But Iowa State's better than Kentucky. That's true even without Joshua Jefferson. However, when you're up 29, there's no excuse for how this one played for the final 12 or so minutes. They fought back to make the season, to make it respectable, but Mark Pope has huge pressure in year 3. So, let's move on here. Let's go to the stat sheet. We'll call it a video. Iowa State, 29-7 record, 82 points, 31 in the first half, 51 in the second half. Kentucky ends their season with a 22-14 record, 63 points, 30 in the first half, 33 in the second half. Yelovich, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field, 5 rebounds. Moreno, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 6 at the line. Chandler, 6 points, 2 of 5 from the field and 3. Oway, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 of 15 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. Aberdeen, 20 points, 6 of 14 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. Diabate, 4 points, 2 of 3 from the field, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Garrison, 1 point, 6 rebounds, 0 for 1. Jasper Johnson, 3 points, 1 of field from the field and 3. Kim Williams, 5 points, 1 of 2 from the field and 3. They shot 47%, 9 of 25, 36% from 3, 12 of 17, 71% from the line. 30 rebounds, 11 assists, but 20 turnovers, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 5 O-boards, 29 D boards, and 18 fouls. For Iowa State, Blake Buchanan, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. Momchilovich, 20 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. Killian Torrey, 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field. Lipsy, 26 points, 10 assists, 5 steals. 8 of 15 from the field, 3 6 from 3. Heisey, 12 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Bateman, 3 points, 1 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. And Plata and Nelson each had 1 point with 1 free throw. They shot 46% from the field, 9 of 28, 32% from 3, 17 24, 71% from the line. 31 rebounds, 17 assists, 7 turnovers, 12 steals, no blocks, 9 O-boards, 22 D-boards, and 16 fouls. So, that's all I gotta say here, ladies and gentlemen. Season's over for Kentucky. We'll see what happens in the off-season. That's all I'm gonna say here. 82-63 is your final score. So, season's over. And I might do some content with Kentucky in the off-season. We'll see. But leave a like and subscribe for more. Peace.